Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and I'm finally getting around to a news video that should have been on my YouTube channel the day it was talked about, because we got some Final Fantasy 16 news that was translated and circulated like crazy. Now, I'm going to be giving you all the deets on that, but you're probably wondering why I am wearing this very furry jacket. Well, the person who we got most of this information from is someone we have referenced here a lot on the YouTube channel, Audrey at Itaikimochi over on Twitter. Now, she has done some fantastic translation work, brought us all sorts of exciting news that we were just pining for. And she also runs a website at Itaikuji, specializes in exporting goods from Japan to other countries around the world. I have made quite a few orders myself, some of them behind me back there, one of which I'm wearing right here. You may remember from a Final Fantasy XIV broadcast not too long ago, they mentioned that there would be a Fat Cat hoodie. Now, as you can see, got the Fat Cat right here. And, of course, you've got this. It's a hoodie, not a full onesie, so, you know, it's got pockets here, but it does have the tail and the back design, if you can even hear me properly with that. And because I thought they were hilarious, I got one for myself, I got one for my girlfriend, and because I'm referencing her translations, I figured it was only fair. She didn't tell me to do this. She'll be surprised to know that I did this. And yeah, at Itaikuji, or Itaikuji is the name of the website. That's where I bought it from. That's where I imported it from. So thanks, Audrey. On that note, let's talk about the actual news. So there were two live streams that Yoshi P was featured on. One was the Nier Reincarnation. That's a mobile game stream. They're doing a Final Fantasy XIV collaboration with Hades, Emmett Selk, a bunch of weapons and armor. And there was also the Uniqlo collaboration stream where they're doing a bunch of different Final Fantasy shirts for the anniversary. And on top of that, one of them is a Final Fantasy 16 shirt. So Yoshi P had some stuff to say there. But these 3 points kind of encapsulate all of the things that were the most important details, because people can't stop asking. All the Japanese developers and all the different companies that keep interviewing him around the world are just like, yo, when's Final Fantasy 16? So he couldn't help it. He had to talk about it during the broadcast. He was even upset about it. He's like, please stop making me talk about it. It's not ready yet. But he did have some exciting news. First of all, the trailer's done. They said that they had to delay it because of certain factors, but it should drop soon. Now, soon could mean anything. We were expecting news in spring, and spring lasts until mid-June, as much as we all like to pretend it doesn't. So in the next month or so, we might very well be looking at the launch, not the launch trailer, but the release trailer for Final Fantasy 16. Now, I call it that because I would assume that a release date would be present, or at least a release window would be present in said trailer, but we won't have to wait that much longer for a new trailer for 16. Now, of course, a new trailer is not that big a deal in a vacuum, right? How many trailers did Versus 13 and 15 get? More than I could count on 2 hands at the very least. But that's because the dev team is making some strides. Now, first of all, I actually want to tackle the third quote here first, or the third translation / overview of what was said across these 2 streams. The game is pretty much complete. Now, Audrey has gone on to say that that translation is not literal, meaning they could ship it at any time. What it means is basically all of the heavy lifting of putting the game together, of putting all of the factors together, the combat, the story, the voice acting, elements we knew they were actually approaching finished on some months ago, are all pretty much in their it's done stage. But it needs to be QA'd, it needs to be polished, it needs to be improved, it needs to be refined, it needs to be balanced. So essentially, all of the things that make the game good, make the game flow smoothly, all still need to be done. It talks about here the dev team spending a ton of time polishing and debugging the game. It says spent, but it really means spending, because they are actually going the extra mile on that and making sure to do as much as humanly possible with the debugging, with the polishing. Apparently, according to the Uniqlo stream, I believe they even worked through Golden Week, which is not something that usually happens. So if they're working through that, that means they really want to get some work done. Yoshi P at least says, I'm sorry, he was working through all of Golden Week. But this is exciting. Yoshi P said the next time we see Final Fantasy 16, he wants it to be something that you can get your hands on pretty quickly. He wants to be something that you look at and go, I have to buy that. And so the fact that we're almost at a trailer, I just hope a bunch of the other rumors regarding the game end up coming true. There's the rumor, of course, that the Devil May Cry 5 combat lead that they picked up from Capcom, we do not know yet if he is working on Final Fantasy 16. Would love to learn that. People are suspecting who's working on the music, who wrote the story. So I'd like to start getting some answers, because at this point, we got one trailer, we got a website with some details. We analyzed those details very carefully, if you remember, some time ago. And yeah, it's just wait time. But it looks like we might actually have something to sink our teeth into very, very soon. So I will be watching Audrey's Twitter like a hawk. And if anything pops up, I'll be a little more hasty on it now that I'm in the ending stretch of my ultimate prog in 14. So thank you again, Audrey, for your excellent translations, for your elaborations. Again, I recommend following her on Twitter, because when she posts more elaborations, more direct translations before actually taking them and fixing the phrasing so it makes more sense. She does all of that work, but also gives you the background info. Follow her on Twitter. I'll include it in the link in the description. But yeah, I'm excited. Anyway, that's going to be a wrap for this video. Let me know what you think. Are you excited for Final Fantasy 16? Are you excited to get your very own Fat Cat hoodie? Again, not an ad, but also kind of an ad. She didn't tell me to do it, but I'm doing it anyway. Yeah, just let me know in the comment section how you feeling. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. And until then, take care.